You got all the treasures. That's a hacksaw?
Yeah, power hacksaw from probably the 30s or 40s.
Oh, wow.
And that's a Craftsman table saw from probably the same era underneath that starter.
Huh. Yeah, and those
Yeah.
hubcaps, I recognize them. Mine had like a waffle pattern behind the tri-bar. Those are just what?
These are like 60s reproduction Fiestas.
Huh. You got all the stuff, man.
A long time ago, these were decent, and they were on my 49 Fords.
Right. I see number 3 is down there.
Yeah.
I saw that. This is Marty McFly,
Yeah,
the vintage
how you doing?
machinist. He could do whatever you need. So we are here because he's making some parts for me, but I never really took any time to look around this place. So we're gonna do a little walk around and check out this Model A.
Yeah, we chopped 6 inches out of that a couple years ago and haven't even finished it. Really.
Haven't finished it. I know that
No.
story. Got a blower.
Yeah.
That bender's cool. Look at that thing.
That's that one, and there's another one over there.
Oh, I know what this is. You got any of
Those
these
are out
laying?
for you because the packages are bad, but the
Wow.
rubbers are good.
What are those?
Let's let the audience name that part. They know. Know what these are? You knew I was coming. Cool. Man, you just got all kinds of machines.
Yeah, so
What's
that's
this
a metal.
V12 engine?
That's a 34 Cadillac.
Look at that. Flathead Ford V8, no? Yeah?
Yeah.
Intake?
All kinds of old junk. 36 Pontiac cylinder heads. 8BA flathead Ford stuff.
Look at that JVC receiver. What's that?
That's our old shop receiver.
Heck yeah.
It still works, but only on one channel.
Huh. What's that knob? What's that dial in there?
This is crazy, huh?
What is that?
That's the 4-speaker.
The surround
Yeah,
sound?
yeah. That's like the fader and the.
Oh, wow.
What do you call it?
Yeah,
Front to
yeah.
back.
Balance and the fader.
Yeah,
Front
all
to
in
back,
one.
side to side.
It's actually pretty cool. It's one of those things I want to keep, but I need to make room for stuff we use.
I know. You got to have room for more buses.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at that. What is that? Kenworth nose?
Oh yeah, I was gonna graft that onto my Dodge.
That's a wall hanger.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we'll make it inside. You got so much cool stuff. What's the story with this? Prison bus or hippie bus?
That was a Parks tour bus turned hippie bus.
Heck yeah, I like the sconce on there.
It's a 47 or 48 white.
Nice. And that one's a Crown?
No, that one's an ACF Brill.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a Crown. The motor's midship.
Okay.
Lays
Oh
on
yeah,
its
it's got
side.
that cool side.
It's got a Triumph Spitfire engine running a generator in the back. One of
Wow.
those little 980 cc's.
Wow.
You know?
And is the side stainless steel?
Yep.
Oh, sweet.
So it's just like the Silverside GMC. So, a little bit different. It's a motorhome inside. I put bamboo floor in it.
Cool. Yeah, man. Didn't you have a bug laying back here? Something you're trying to give me? You had something back here. Pinto? What
We
was it?
blew it up.
Oh well.
But there's the big Lincoln Town car I wanted to do something with, but
Yeah. Oh, I see. When you were telling me I could come up this way, it just pulls
Yeah.
right in. It's easier. Good to know.
I gave away that tractor.
Uh huh.
This is yours, all yours back here.
Most of it,
Treasure.
yes. Friends, storage, and So when Don went, I took a lot of his stuff, and then
Got some junk in the trunk, literally.
That's right. That's it, man. That's the definition.
That
right
is
there.
the trunk.
And like we don't have grass to mow, so that may become like a go-kart motor or
It's a
something.
dust maker.
Yeah.
It makes dust. Looks like a fleet line.
Yeah. That's got to go.
Chevy.
Yep.
Well, I know about machining, but I've never seen any of this stuff, so I want to know what goes on in here. You usually just show me a metal part. I remember you made those axles for the Blue Demon trike thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's go see.
Wow,
That's a 10-speed Road Ranger.
that's a big
That was going to go
transmission.
in that cab over that you saw, the yellow
Wow.
one. Because somebody blew it up and knocked a hole in the case.
That happens.
So this was an old lathe I turned into a line boring machine,
Wow.
and I've used it since.
I like the custom legs on it.
The what? Yeah,
Custom
like that.
legs on it. I mean,
I think I'm going
to
to end up putting a crankshaft on there and paint the journals different colors.
Cool.
And that'll go in the little white pump house right there.
Right on. Wow, it's a little dim in here, but that's typically the machine shop, right?
We can brighten it up. I'm always fighting the sunlight coming in and
Yeah,
blaring
no,
on
same
me.
in my shop.
So yeah, so
you got everything to make it happen.
Yeah, I got a lot of lathes, you know. And this is the machine I use for cutting splines. This is a horizontal universal milling machine.
And that's what you did the axles for me with, right?
Yeah. And so this is how you do the dividing for the spline segments.
count.
You know, it's all mass into these holes.
Crazy.
You know.
And what year do you think this machine is?
This machine is from Italy, and I think mid-50s.
Cool.
You know.
And true to this day, because people know how to take care of them.
It works great, and I use this for surfacing new car cylinder heads, like aluminum heads. And it puts on a mirror finish.
Sweet.
And it has coolant and everything.
And the rest of these, that's just like some kind of a
that's a
stone that grinds?
Yeah, that's a little 612 Herrig surface grinder that I haven't used it in over a year, maybe 2. I use that big grinder there. That's an abrasive number 1.5, yeah.
So do you run 3-phase in here?
Yeah, so I have a phase converter here.
Gotcha.
The motor force down there.
Because I've been looking for a mill like this, but everyone I find is 3-phase.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would love to have that.
Well, it's no problem wiring one.
Got a few of them lined up.
This is a 10 horsepower phase converter, so it'll even run the crankshaft grinder. If you want to see a big grinder, I'll go over there to that green machine.
The Storm?
Yep, Storm Vulcan.
Wow.
22-inch wheel.
Heck yeah. That'll do it.
So this is what I do all the OD grinding for the shafts before I spline them, and this is what I grind crankshaft. It's a crankshaft grinder.
Okay.
The 1965 Storm Vulcan. There's all my other wheels for it.
Oh, wow.
You know, and other projects.
That's a cool inventory. Where do you even get those?
I don't know, because those came those came with it, and they'll probably outlive me, you know?
That's what I heard about tools like this. It's like you get the machine, but it's all the tooling. It's all the pieces with any lathe or mill.
Sometimes you could buy a machine like, you know, a cylinder boring bar and not have the toolkit, and the toolkit's twice as much as the machine costs. And there's my early Hemi project, you know, that's sitting there.
Oh, yeah. I see the valve covers.
Yep.
This is interesting.
So, yeah, and when my dad was alive, he used to... Me and him, we used to do all the machinery moving ourselves. We put this here.
Wow.
And that thing's like 7,500 pounds.
Yeah, it's a big chunk of iron.
Yeah, it's an inch thick casting.
Huh.
And that's what makes them work so good. You know, they're rigid.
Yeah.
You know,
all this
no
newer
vibration.
stuff. Yeah, all this newer stuff's on a little metal stamped stand.
This is a 55 index vertical mill that I got in an estate sale over right by Quail Lake. And it happened to come from Lockheed. A lot of stuff I've got here from estate sales ended up ultimately coming from Lockheed.
After they closed down all that stuff.
Yeah, and they would auction off a lot of stuff.
One of my work tables, I think, is from there or something. Somebody recognized it. This big half round table.
Those benders out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This press.
Yeah.
So this is like a production press. It was, you know, it's 60 tons, believe it or not. It's small frame and it's automatic. And I got it working. I found it on the internet for $100. I had to go get it.
Wow.
Cool.
You know?
So is it air over hydraulic?
Yep.
Yeah. Still, look at this big old
thing. It's ridiculous, huh?
That's some cool old fashioned
and
stuff.
it was made by Sprague, which was owned by Rocketdyne.
Huh.
Well, according to my research.
Interesting.
And I left it outside, you know, and the weather messed it up, and it didn't work. I ended up taking all the valves apart, cleaning the rust out, and then, you know, putting new seals and new gaskets and stuff.
Right on. Well, I recognize these. These are finished. We'll get into that later, but what else are you working on? What's in the machine? You said you had some job you're doing?
Oh, over on the grinder. Over on the other building.
Oh, other building. Yay.
But this is the block. This is what we surface the blocks with, you know, like regular V8 blocks and stuff.
Let me guess. The Blockmaster Model 85B?
That's right.
Is that the one you have?
Yep.
Nice.
So
Yep. We all know about that.
Oh,
The old
this is
Blockmaster.
fascinating.
I know. Look at the table on that thing. It's huge.
I got this machine and this machine in Redlands, and that little grinder that we talked about earlier.
Uh-huh.
And I tried to put them all on one trailer at the same
Ooh.
time, and my dad stopped me and
He
said,
was
"You're
sweating.
crazy."
Yeah.
He said, "We're not driving up the freeway, up the hill."
All right.
With the
40,000
tra-
pounds on the trailer.
Yeah, you know, just overloaded.
That thing's crazy.
I rebuilt the motor and a bunch of parts on it that were worn out.
Yeah. Look at all the belts on there.
Yeah. Now it's really quiet. The only thing you can hear is the coolant pump.
Yeah, I'm sure once that big stone gets spinning, it's a great flywheel too, huh?
It is. And it's so smooth, there's no vibration, you know?
Hmm.
I want to get this going. This is a 40s Prybill, maybe even earlier than that, metal spinning lathe, you know, to do like disc.
Oh,
Yeah, so
wow,
this will do
yeah.
like moon disc and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
sure.
and tanks, you know.
Wow.
So I want to get that going. I just haven't gotten to it.
Crazy. Yeah, you put your disc or whatever on the center here and
Right, and then there's a
get the
tailstock
big
that goes up to it.
wheel and yeah.
Yep.
Neat.
I got all the parts for it.
Huh. Look at this cool old toolbox from this side.
That came from Quail Lake.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I got it and I never did anything with it. It just sits there.
There's another bender with a big
Right.
old chain.
This one's cool. Look, see the chain?
Chain link.
Yeah. So it ratchets. So
That's
it'll do
cool.
like it'll pull some torque. You know.
Wow.
So that's a good bender. That you know.
Yeah.
Once I have money to pour cement, you know, I'll bolt these things down.
Oh, I hear
and
you.
use them.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you always got to do 3 things to do one thing, and the foundation is everything.
So yeah, so here's the other building I'm putting together, and I'll probably just put pavers in here and stuff, you know, because concrete's expensive.
Yeah.
But here is the Cincinnati monoset grinder, and here is a lifter from a 30s Studebaker, and I'm gonna reface it. If you get in there and see it, you'll see the shiny surface
And are those
there.
flat on the face, or they have a little divot, or?
They have a little radius, small
Little
radius to them, small angle.
Uh-huh.
The idea is to match the cam lobe so it doesn't eat itself.
So it doesn't eat. Yeah.
Because they're off center, so they spin.
Oh, right.
And that's
yeah,
what
it's-
keeps the oil
yeah.
in the cam lobe in it from
going.
eating the lobe.
Huh.
I posted recently about newer lifters not being any good because of quality control issues.
Right, and the old stuff is rebuildable. That's the deal. It's original manufacturer quality.
Exactly. Yeah, so I want to... Just last week, we gutted this place. I put this mill in here. the
Are
other
these
day.
leather belt drives?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So this is a 1905 or 04 Pratt & Whitney. This was used to build aircraft for World War I.
Wow.
And it was a line shaft machine, which means it had a belt going up to a
To the
shaft.
ceiling.
It ran on a motor outside,
Right.
you know, usually like a big diesel motor or steam engine or something. And this was an electric motor conversion that they came out with like in the 30s and 40s.
Huh.
And it's got a 4-speed transmission on it.
Crazy.
The shifter's bent down over here.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, you select your gear.
I kind
just
of
like a
wanted to
car.
take this off and take the electric motor off and put that Triumph Spitfire on this and put it in a go-kart.
Forget it, man. Put that blown Hemi.
Yeah.
Put that Hemi to it. Leave it on a belt drive. Make your machines go.
And there's that press I got for $20 at an estate sale in Little
Oh,
Rock.
wow. Yeah, kind of like if you can carry it, it's yours, right?
Yeah. I just bought that cylinder and that
Yeah.
pump for it, 150 tons.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So I tried to get the biggest one I could find.
Heck yeah. No, that'll push it.
So
Cool.
Yeah,
Wow, you
and
got a
there's-
little welder, or what is
yeah, a
that
little
thing?
bitty welder.
Wow.
See that little tiny machine?
Huh. In case you're building any bridges or cranes or anything
Right.
like that. Wow.
Oh yeah, so something I did was this thing. I don't know if you could tell, but there's a bore that goes through here on most cylinder heads with overhead cams.
Mhm.
On this center one, it got eaten up because the cam broke, and the whole journal there got eaten up. And we welded it up. I made a new cap for it and line boarded on that fixture out there that I showed you.
Cool.
And then before that, I resurfaced it and everything.
What engine's that?
It's a Toyota 22R.
Oh, exotic.
So, well, they make those heads for peanuts now, but you get what you pay for, is what I tell people.
I
Right?
understand.
You know, and I ended up getting the hot.
That's why you're running some
Yeah.
tools. You just spend some time over here.
I came in the other day and that thing's flat all of a sudden.
Huh.
But yeah, that was my workout every night for years. You know. And then I got the belt sander mounted.
Yeah. The Burr King. That's
Yeah,
the real
it's a good
deal.
machine.
Yeah, no doubt.
This one's got speed control on it.
Cool.
That's the old Craftsman gunsmith lathe in the back.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, I'm resurrecting it. It was.
This is?
Yeah.
So you can make rifle barrels?
Say what,
Yeah.
what is this again?
This is a early Craftsman lathe. It was commonly referred to as a gunsmith lathe because of the long length for barrels and stuff, you know.
Cool.
And it's going to be one of our secondary machines, or set up maybe to show people how to do stuff.
That's cool. Because that's what you were talking about, right? You wanted to
Right.
ultimately
So, yeah.
spread the knowledge.
So the
Talk about
reason why it's hard for me, my life is hard because I want to get rid of stuff and clean up, but I want to collect stuff to build a school to teach people stuff. You know.
Because really, like in our country, this is a dying art.
Right.
Everything is CNC. Everything
Right.
is like, yeah.
Exactly.
But this is the manual way of doing it.
I think hands-on is important.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why I keep my stuff pretty low tech.
Right.
That's cool.
It works good too, you know.
He's like me. He uses jacks for everything.
I was
Well,
careful. I was careful now.
That's what I do. It's because
Well,
if you want to adjust it one day, you want a little more tension. You
That's
got something
right.
up there.
So I'm gonna see that skylight thing on this over there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a door there, and I'm gonna put a storefront on the other side.
Cool.
So you'll be able to
Yeah,
go up
yeah.
and ring the bell.
Right on.
And there's storage. I put that in there years ago because when I moved in here, this whole place was packed with antiques, like to the door.
I'm
Wow.
not surprised.
The lady I bought the house from moved in
Wow.
this house in '67.
And
So-
the house was moved here too, right?
The house was moved from Boron. It belonged to the Borax Mining Company.
Huh.
And it was on Boron Boulevard. It was one of the only houses. It was one of the houses that they had to knock down or move when they expanded the mine.
Right,
So
yeah.
if you've ever been on there, that avenue stops,
Huh.
and it turns into the mine. And there's actually asphalt under that dirt they've been piling over there.
Wow.
So
No, the desert's like that, man. They take it in.
they cut
put
the
it
house
out.
up in 2 or 3 pieces, and they brought it over here and they bolted it back together.
Huh.
Wow.
I went in the attic and they got big steel beams in there where they clamp it back. They did it professional.
Cool. Huh.
I was suspecting that they moved it on the train because the train's out front, you know? But, you
No
know,
wonder, right?
yeah.
Who knows?
Hmm.
So here's our grinder we were talking about, and there's the Studebaker lifter.
So this gets faced off too, right?
No, just this.
Oh. How does it seal? How does it seat?
Well, this is going to run like Cavalo, and that's going to, the bore is there.
Oh, I see.
In fact, I'll show you what it goes in. Exactly. It's a kind of a unique design because the lifter bores, it has lifter blocks where the lifter bores are. They come out just like a Cadillac flathead.
Are you coming back over here?
Yeah, I'll come over there.
Okay.
So these blocks, this is straight 8. These go on the side, and all the lifters sitting there.
Oh, because the flathead, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
the valves
yeah,
are
yeah.
popping up. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so that's how those work.
Cool stuff.
Anyway, I'll show you this thing in operation.
So does the stone have a radius on it, or how do you get that? Does that swivel around?
this, you see this down here?
It swivels. Gotcha.
And it's such a slight radius,
Mhm.
it's actually an angle from center out.
You just, yeah.
So it's already set, and it's not going to swing the radius.
Hmm.
But I'll show you what it's going to do. I'll have to plug it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Welcome.
He's the same way.
When we moved into our new shop, I just had the electrician put as many plugs right off the
He
fuse box. I
did.
said, put a
That's
dozen
what
of them
we're
right
gonna
there.
do here.
Yeah.
He did.
I got a panel back there that's not hooked up. It's 100 amps just for this.
Uh huh.
And I don't even know if it's going to be enough amps because
No. That's
Look
what
at the
I'm doing in my
welder.
shop too. I just got extension cords. I just told him put a dozen
Yeah.
plugs. I'll figure it out.
and also and I was figuring, you know what? Like we put stuff in here and then we ended up moving some things.
Yeah, and you don't
Yeah.
run them all at the same time, so it's like just-
Yeah, so you don't need all those amps
right.
anyway.
Yeah,
Plus, I got a 220. You see this right here?
Right.
This is a number 6.
That's what I did for my welder too, heavier
Yeah.
one, but one big-
$250 for like
Yeah,
50
right.
feet.
Yeah, it goes anywhere you want. Never mind putting wires in the walls.
So this is where you set your angle of your workpiece here. This is the work head, and that's your spindle. This is called a cup grinding wheel. And you see how it's got a pattern on it, a wear pattern on it now. I'm just going to touch it a little bit. And then you spark it out. You see how it's changing the finish?
Mm-hmm.
So basically you do it till it cleans up all the way. And you can see that there's a different finish on there.
Nice
now.
little swirl.
And what that'll do is it'll reestablish a wear pattern when you put it on the reground camshaft. So that's
Cool.
basic. That's all there is to grinding those, really. I mean, setting the machine up, and then you take it and you check it, you know, and you measure the angle on the comparator and stuff. So if you'll come back here, I'll show you. I ground one last night. And I was checking it from the center out, you know, and you could see on the gauge is on the center and it's zeroed out. And when I slide it over, you'll see the dial move.
Yeah,
Can I
it's
sit on this
concave.
chair?
Yeah. So there you could see the drop. So that tells you that it's radius down from the center. And that's what I'm using to set up the machine. So you got to do like a first article, check it, and then do your adjustments from there so you have a reference point.
Naturally. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever it takes.
Because, you know, like the little lines on the machine.
Of course.
Yeah, you know.
220, 221, whatever it
Yeah.
takes.
You know, just like they do in the space station.
Yeah, I agree. I like that little belt file sander thing.
Like that?
That's almost, I got a project in the truck. And that's kind of what I was thinking I would need, but I'm sure you have a better idea.
Yeah.
I'll show you what I got.
Is there anything else here?
Well, you see we have a blasting cabinet too.
What is this?
It's a blasting cabinet with glass beads in it for, you know, cleaning up stuff.
The way Victor cleaned the Cadillac,
Uh-huh.
that's a miniature one. So if you had to clean a little car or a machine
Yeah.
part, that little window, put your hand there.
You could have somebody shrink it and put
I'm
it in
not
there.
putting my hand in there.
You should. I'll hold the camera. Stick your hand in there.
No.
Do it. It's
Dusty.
safe. Either
It's
one.
dusty though. What if there's a mouse or a spider in there?
There's not. No, there's not.
What is it?
It's a glove.
Oh well, I knew that.
Oh, okay. And then you
I
can
wonder if
look
there's
in the
anything
window.
in there.
There's a mouse.
I don't trust the desert and the critters and the things.
There's
Yeah.
tarantulas in
Basically,
the house.
Are there?
you look through the
There you
window and you
I
fix your
believe it.
part.
Well,
yeah.
they live here. They
Yeah.
I don't mind them. When I was under my car one day out there, putting my transmission in or something on my 55, and I said, "Oh, there's a mouse. He's pretty brazen. He's next to me, and I'm moving around, you know."
Yeah, where there's mice.
I went and turned the light on, and it was a big tarantula. Like that.
Oh.
Yeah, no, they live out here. We never saw any at our
No, we
ranch,
never saw 'em.
Sadly. Those I don't mind.
I've never seen any rattlesnakes out here,
Really?
but I know they're out here.
Oh, yeah, we had plenty at our place. Wow, this block wall. Look at this. That's cool. Is that anything special?
So that goes around the whole
Look at
property.
the texture on them.
Those were casted here, I think,
Oh, okay.
before they were laid.
Wow.
Those were put here by the house mover guy. His name was Louis Zaraviga.
That's a cool look.
And those are pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, neat. So he probably had some kind of two-piece mold and just
Right.
poured them himself.
It goes all the way around, and before they put that two-story in front, it went around the front too.
What's that, 51 Ford?
49.
49? Okay.
That was in my car when I crashed it.
Oh,
If you could see the glove box.
Yeah. Got a little pushed in. Yeah.
I crashed it pretty bad. I creased the roof.
Oops.
I broke the transmission off of the motor.
Oops.
you know.
As they say, no good story ever started with "Here, hold my milk."
This car we were working on for a friend. We welded the back fenders on it, molded them.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it was all right, and there was the bottom of the doors were gone, the rockers were gone, the front fenders were gone. It was a New York car, original paint and everything.
I know that story. Huh. That's cool.
You know, we've had it for a couple years here.
So what is it, like 40 something?
Yeah, it's a 48 Plymouth.
48, okay. Huh. Got your little wedding chapel over
That's
here.
right. You know, if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna become ordained and marry people.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I appreciate you showing me around. I've only seen the parts that you've come out from your lair with, and every one of them's worked. So I got another project, and when I got time, I'd like to show it to you.
No problem.
Cool.